What's up, guys? Alright, so this is a message. This message is primarily directed towards my brothers and sisters out there who believe in God. And whether the God you believe in is Allah or, Yahweh or whatever. This is kind of a message to you. Alright? And so do I believe in God? I'm agnostic. Okay? But I do believe, if there is a God, that he does not, will not, and never will answer your prayers. He'll never answer your prayers. Prayers, I think, are useless. I'm sorry, but I think they are. I think you're wasting your time and your energy asking God for something. That's not the way God works. I don't think. Who really knows? Maybe your prayers are perfectly in line with what God wants and he'll answer all your prayers. I don't know, but I don't think so. I don't think that's how it works. And the way I think it works is actually maybe even more of a beautiful reality than a world where God answers your prayers. Because I think it's true that God doesn't answer your prayers, but he does answer your actions. You are in control, or at least partly in control, let's say. Not in complete control, no way. But you are at least partly in control of your destiny. And that's how it works. So God doesn't answer your prayers, he answers your actions. And so if you're praying to God for good health, I don't believe he will grant you that. I don't think that's how it works. He's not just, he can't, maybe he can, but I don't think he will just grant you good health. That's not how it works. Health is a result of your actions and the actions of those around you and the nature, let's say, of the environment around you. So if you're living in a toxic environment, you need to remove yourself. You need to take the action of removing yourself from that toxic environment. You can't expect God to heal you when you're in a toxic environment. It's not how it works. So yeah. And am I getting a call here? No, that's somebody else. So yeah, same thing for like other things. Like let's say you're praying to God for, healing or whatever because you have cancer. Well, I think what's true is the reason you got cancer in the first place was because of some sort of toxic thing going on in your life, whether it be toxic environment, toxic, ingestion of air, food, water. That's why you got cancer in the first place. God didn't give you the cancer and he can't, or maybe he could, if he could intervene, if he would intervene in reality, but I don't think God does that. Like I said, he doesn't intervene in reality. Miracles, they don't exist. They do exist in a sense, but miracles are just this reality functioning the way it was set up to run. So God doesn't answer your prayers, he answers your actions. So if you're sick, take action. Remove yourself from your toxic environment, change your diet. There's many things you might have to do. You might have to open your mind about things, because I think sickness is a way of telling us that we've made a mistake, So if you're sick, step back a second and say, say to yourself, is what I am doing serving me? Is what I am eating serving me? Is what I am drinking serving me? Is the people I'm hanging around, are they serving me? And you might want to try to come to the realization that no, maybe one or all of those things aren't serving you and you need to change. And you need to change because if you don't, you won't ever get health. Because as I said, God cannot grant you health if you're living in toxicity. It's just not how it works. Because I think the way it works is like God, if there is a God, as I said, I'm agnostic. But I'm saying if there is a God, he set up the world in such a way where there are kind of rules, let's say, and those are the rules he set up and he put them in motion because he realized those rules are the best sort of thing there can be that can serve the most amount of good in the world, let's say. And therefore he can't intervene with those rules, because that would be intervening in the rules that he already set up, knowing that those were the best rules possible. And so what you need to do is kind of align yourself with those rules. That's how you achieve health. So again, prayer is just, in my opinion, a waste of energy, because instead of actually finding a solution to a problem that you have, you're asking that God grant you the solution. It's not how it works. God gave you the power to grant the solution yourself. So it's a very empowering message too. You have the power, the power is in your hands. It's not in God's hands, it's in your hands. God gave you the tools, he gave you the abilities, he gave you, probably you could say, everything you need to achieve the things you want. But he's not going to give them to you, you have to get them for yourself. All right, I think I said my piece enough times here. Hope you guys are all well. I'm just coming out of a pretty dark and deep sickness myself. Very nasty cold. And I think the reason I got that cold was because I got cold. I was making a mistake. I was outside in the rain without a shirt on. It was windy. It was actually kind of around evening time. It was kind of damp and cold, and I just stupidly allowed my body to get cold. I think my core temperature plummeted, and I got sick as a result. And so that's a mistake that I hope I will never make again. And so I'm kind of just, I feel born again. I feel like I've got a second chance, and I feel like I've learned a lesson. And So if you're sick, I encourage you to go deep within. Ask yourself, maybe as I said earlier, is what I have done or what I am doing in my life, what I'm eating, what I'm watching, everything, all the things you do. Ask yourself, is it serving you? Because if you're sick, I don't think it is. There's a reason you're sick. Sickness doesn't come out of anywhere. It comes out of living. Sickness comes out of living out of alignment with the rules, the divine rules that were set up in the very beginning. All right, cool. I think that's all I got to say. All right, this has been Health Matrices. Guys, please like and subscribe. I really want to grow this channel as big as possible. And I'd appreciate any comments too. That'd be wonderful. And and if you disagree with me, let me know. If you agree with me, let me know. If you got anything to add, let me know. If you think I got stuff wrong, whatever, let me know in the comments. All right, you guys are awesome. Onward and upward. Let's ascend together. All right, brothers. All right, and sisters. All right. Peace.